world where equality is just another euphemism for mediocrity, where participation is more highly valued than achievement, where just enough to get by is the new standard of excellence. There is a small minority of people who fight back against such apathy, who struggle daily to reach new heights. These brave few are the hope for the future, the bright shining light for the next generation. They are the ones who will lead us to the places we have never dreamed of, to the undiscovered country, to reach goals only a few can even begin to imagine. Unfortunately, none of those people could be here tonight, so kick back and relax. Prepare yourself for several hours of fun, friendship, fascinating conversation, and fabulous music. All those F's, that's an alliteration and kind of a radio trick. Speaking of radio, you're listening to the most popular radio station in the history of broadcast radio, at least among stations that originate from Chris's living room. It's Curious Times. Your host is a curious listener. Here she is, Chris.
Yay. Hey, everybody. Welcome to Curious Times. It's Monday night, January the 16th. What is January the 16th? January 16th. 16th. Was it like, no. January wasn't his birthday or something, was it? January 8th. January 8th, so August 16th. Okay, I got it backwards. Okay, welcome. Dianna Monroe is here tonight, and we'll get to her in just a quick second. Just to let you know what's coming up in the next little bit. Lisa Nolan-Shalosky is here tomorrow, Wednesday, either a night off or a junkie show, just a nothing show. Jen Young is here on Thursday, Friday, night off. Kimber's here Saturday, Sunday, Monday, nights off. I'm taking the nights off. Tuesday, Alicia and Corrine are going to be here. Wednesday, Kathleen, and I'm well into next week. So there you go. That's what's coming up. I'd like to say hi to brand new listener, Joel, I guess, or that's who's paying the phone bill anyway. And Amenti, long time no see. Long time no see. Very nice to see people come back, and I gotta get some other people. You know what I mean? We gotta get the word out, and I'm thinking about doing maybe talking to Corrine and maybe a couple of nights. Just have her simulcast our show on her BTR channel, and then we'll put in her chat room and everything else over there. That they gotta come over here, you know, and we'll get some people. Understanding that we're still here. And we have been all along. Start at a better place than Broken Talk Radio, you know what I mean? And so, we gotta get some new people. My camera I wish I could get a better setup for my stupid camera. It just balances precariously there. And if I bang my table, it goes and falls and everything like that. Which I don't bang my table too often, you know. Anyway, okay, I am going to play the EVP probably in a little bit here because Dianna hasn't heard it and she's a paranormal person, and we'll find out what Dianna wants to talk about, and then go from there. She's a psychic medium, a Reiki Master and Teacher. She's a past life regression specialist, paranormal investigator, and an ordained minister. She has graduated from the Silva Method, and she has training in spectrum healing using universal energies. She's also got training in dowsing, and she studied with Master Chen, a Taoist priest and healer. You can connect with Dianna at her website at www.psychicfrontier.com. So let's go get Dianna. How's it going, Dianna? How are you?
Hey, good. How are you?
I couldn't be better.
Well, I was wondering, is there, I've been wanting to put on my website, well, I can still put the dates when I'm on the show here, but is there a way we can get the, what do they call it? I don't want to say code number, but the show number. The show number ahead of time so we can advertise that so people, because I've had some people say, well, yeah, I wanted to hear you on the show, but I don't know how to get there, or, you know, I get there and then I can't call in, or I don't know what the code number is.
Well, first of all, you should encourage them to get a intuitalks account, because it just takes a quick minute and it's free. And then they could just click and they could just click the link, come here, and then the code number is given to them as soon as they enter the show chat room. The other thing I do, though, Dianna, is that I always, how do they call that, like tag you or whatever? I tag you. So it's posted, it's supposed to be posted right on, unless you don't allow tagging.
No, I do. Are you talking about on Facebook?
Yeah. So
I allow tagging.
It's not there today. Anyway, and I did tag you in it, so, but usually it should be posting on your page. I don't understand why it's not there today. And the code number's right there, you know what I mean?
Yeah, because normally it shows, when you tag me, it shows up on my page without me having to go and click on anything to do it, so that's why I'm surprised.
Yeah. Lately, though, Facebook did do some change recently, and every time they do some change, it messes with people's settings. It could be that. But I did tag you.
Okay.
And, but anyway, if you go and look at any of the posts that are on your page that you've been tagged in, the call-in number and the code is right there, right there. And so anybody that's finding the show link from your site, it's like from your Facebook, it's there already. But I don't get that code number, Dianna, until I open the chat room.
Okay. Well, I've got some people that aren't on my Facebook page, but they've gone to Intuitalks, and I said, well, I think that the number is there once you sign in, and do that. But
yeah, it is. I mean, what happens is, because I have my show set up that you have to be a member, you have to have an Intuitalks account and be logged into your Intuitalks account to get in, because that pardon me. That avoids us having to have like 12 guests in the room that we can't even tell. Because guests are allowed to type in chat, and so you could have like 12 guests, and and they're not numbered guests. You know what I mean? So like you don't even know who's saying what.
Gotcha.
And so I set it up so that people have to be logged into their account. So if they're truly coming to Intuitalks, what it is A, they don't have an Intuitalks account, or B, they're not logged into it. Otherwise, they would be able to get right into the chat room. And the first thing that shows up for anybody when they come into the chat room is the welcome, and here's the call-in number, and enter this code. You know what I mean?
Yeah, or maybe lately people have just been blowing me off. I don't know.
Yeah, listen, the other thing people can do, and this is good for everybody, you can Skype in, and we can accommodate up to 3 Skype callers, free Skype callers, you know what I mean? And so the way that you can do that without messing around with having to be in there and clicking on the link and all this is, if you just add intuitalks.com to your Skype contacts, then all you would ever have to do is go to your contacts in Skype, click on intuitalks.com, and hit call. And it will put you through to the show. Now, you'd still need to have the call-in code, but you know what I mean? So there. I mean, now things will be changed. Hang in there, folks, because changes are coming at some point here that are going to be great changes. Jenny's going to be doing some stuff, and I'm looking forward to it. I think that we're going to get some bells and whistles. And I told her the other day, that I'm absolutely happy with the sound quality and the overall running of the show and everything else here. And so, so anything that we get that's addition is going to be awesome, And so, the thing is that as it stands right now, because just that if each show was going to have their own assigned unique number, it just costs more to have that set up, right? And right now there's not enough paying hosts on Intuitalks to justify that kind of an expense. So, but anyway, we rock and roll. You can always tell people to go to Curious Times, because I've always got it posted at mine or whatever, you know what I mean? Put a link to Curious Times put a link to Curious Times Facebook page, and they can, and tell them that they can always go and get the call-in codes from there.
Okay.
If you want to put onto your, and that's usually posted 10 to 15 minutes before showtime. You'll be able to find that. They're posted on Curious Times, okay?
Okay, thanks.
Perfect. So what you been up to, Mrs.?
Well, Mrs. Well, I'm hoping to get the blog back up and running at psychicfrontier.com. That was my intent, and then I found out that the play festival that I was a part of last year, there was a deadline coming up, and it was last night. And so for the last week, I've been pretty much just writing a play. And I kind of made the choice at the last minute to ask the person who'd been helping me somewhat if he wanted a co-playwright credit, and he did. And so now I'm thinking, okay, I wonder if within myself I can do this, if I can have a collaborator or not, because I'm used to flying solo when it comes to all my writing. But I made the deadline, and it'll be interesting to see how that comes off when it's done. Hopefully, I'm hoping the theater company picks it up and we'll decide to produce it as they produced it last year, but we'll see. So it's just been busy, lots of writing.
Yeah, good for you. Cool. Good luck with that. Good luck with that. Luck with that, eh?
Oh, thanks. Yeah, and for the last, I don't know, month or month and a half, I've been working really hard at trying to get our paranormal investigation group an inside gig, which I didn't think would be that big of a deal, but that's what it's turned out to be, because 3 seasons out of the year we do a lot of stuff outside because we can. The climate is ample for that. But right now I'm stuck in an ice storm. I'm not stuck. I'm home, so it's warm and great. I have a little bit of cabin fever, but my dogs have been driving me crazy today because they really have cabin fever. But no, I've been making phone calls and getting online and trying to find some indoor places where we can do paranormal investigations, and that hasn't come up yet. So I just keep telling myself, well, there's got to be some type of divine timing, or maybe it's keeping me away from some evil place. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
yeah.
It was funny. I called one place. It's this little movie theater that's been around for probably close to 100 years, if not more, and it's still in business, different ownership now, and I called them and asked them about it, and it was funny. It sounded like a pretty young guy, and he said, yeah, well, I know there are spirits out there, but we just don't care. And I said, well, okay, thank you for your time.
I'm just going to upload also for a mentee, anyone else that doesn't know, you don't... Okay, somebody out there is having a cough, because this happens to me when somebody else is I'm not a cougher anymore, you know what I mean? And so I'm coughing. So somebody out there is coughing. Who is coughing? Yes, you heard your name. So this is a way also of, hang on. Okay. Now that you're in chat, like, you don't have to phone in either. You can just come in using your browser. And so how you would do that is you would just click on this headset up here, and then you would give permission to share your microphone, and then you would do a little test. But you need to have a headset to do that. Okay? Otherwise, if you're in the chat room and you're going to phone in, you'll need to click on that headset. Once you're dialed in, especially if you're going to come on air, you'll need to click on that headset to cancel your speaker sound, or we'll get feedback. And this little tutorial has been brought to you by Chris at Curious Time. Yeah, that's fine. I'm just telling you for the future. You know what I mean? You don't have to phone in. You can come in just from within the chat room using a headset in your browser to call in. So now, did you know Linda Crystal? Dianna?
The name is not familiar. What does she do? How would I know her?
She had a show on BTR. She did she was a forensic astrologer, did missing persons cases and things like that using astrology. And she was on my show once to deal with the case of the missing Tamara Kingery. And she came on another time as well. And so she, died from cancer. And so that the other night when I had nothing to do, I just decided, hey, what the heck? I'm going to see if we can do an EVP session and see if we can get Linda Crystal. And I swear somewhere in there I heard Crystal. I asked the question, what's it like to cross over? And you get it's the radio, but I mean the timing of the response is just makes you raise your eyebrows, right?
Really? Cool.
The answer is it's amazing. It's amazing. That's the answer. Seconds after asking that question, it's amazing. You know what I mean?
Very cool.
Well, and you know that the spirits are manipulating the electronics in order to communicate with us, and so this can happen doesn't have to be a creepy ghost voice, it can just be just like they can make use of a song, and make a song come on or this or that or whatever, And so anyway, did you have a topic you wanted to hit tonight?
Oh, I was pretty open if we wanted to talk about any paranormal stuff that's come up in general, or if you want to jump into that one you did. But I'm open. I didn't know how many people were going to be here tonight, so I thought we'd see if they had a topic they wanted to touch on.
Right. Cool. And people are free to call in and share their own paranormal experiences or ask any questions related to paranormal. And a little bit later,
Yeah, go ahead. Sorry, I didn't mean to stop. Go ahead.
Okay. And a little bit later, if anybody's interested in a reading, you can get a reading as well. Just going to ask this person who's under the name of Joel. Hello, caller. Hello, Hawaii Pizza. How can I help you?
Hello.
Hi, who's that?
This is Nancy.
Oh, it's you. Okay, I did not know that was you. Okay, you were already called in. Why were you asking for the code?
Oh, the thing my phone had clicked off, I guess.
Okay, no worries. So, do you want to have a reading later? Or do you want to talk about something, or what do you want to do?
I'd have a reading later, I guess, and just listen to what you guys are talking about.
Sounds good. Talk to you in a bit then. Happy New Year. Nice to see you here. And, okay, well, let me just play this thing then. And I hope I'll be able to pick up. I haven't processed it at all, so this is the absolute original. I haven't done anything to it. And so I haven't quite got to...
Could I cut in and share one thing before you start?
Sure.
I didn't mean to talk over you before, but I thought of something that I thought of earlier today. One thing that was kind of coming through to me today was I was thinking about how it's a new year, we make resolutions, and it's usually to some type of self-improvement, making our lives better in some way. And it was just kind of coming through to me today to talk about and to work myself on, because I usually don't talk about stuff unless I've done it first, to work a little more on my chakras. And so I was working on the chakras and the colors and the feeling of that. And what I found was in the course of doing that, and I don't know how, I didn't time it, I wish I would have, but I didn't spend a lot of time on it. Just through the course of that, I noticed I had a lot more energy and a lot more just kind of awareness and discernment were both stronger for me. So I wanted to share that and encourage people to, it's not like you have to work on certain aspects of yourself every day, but I think if we can be a little more mindful of tuning into our intuition, whether that's just, some type of prayer. Some people prefer prayer, meditation. Like I said, for me today, it was kind of coming through on focus on your chakras, and that really worked for me. I just wanted to encourage people to, even if you spend like 5 minutes, 10 minutes every day at the beginning of the day, just working on kind of tuning into that eternal part of yourself, tuning into your soul. I think you're going to make that's going to make a difference. And then anything else that you've already maybe set a resolution to do, to do better, I think that's only going to help support all those other things that you want to do to improve yourself. So that's kind of my intuitive prepper message for the day.
Cool. Okay. Okay, good. I figured this, like, you know, if I mess around with something, I'm gonna break it, and so I figured I got all the way to 50 years old with my chakras working on autopilot. So I thought I'd leave them alone, you know. I've had guests on and they talk about, okay, and you can spin your chakra this way, and I'm all like, oh my God, like I cannot, like I'll spin it the wrong way or I'll do something wrong. And
oh yeah, if it doesn't feel right, don't do it. Don't do anything to feel right.
But I think even just thinking about it and whatnot, like this, well, 51, okay, Dan, shut up. It's like, okay, years ago, I came to the conclusion that my chakras, actually, at the age of about 46, I came to the conclusion that my chakras got me to the age of 46 quite fine. And so, that we just allow that to run all by itself. But I think just thinking about it and bringing your awareness to your chakras, that alone, you know, because if we go with intent and stuff like that, like I think that if we just think about our chakras being working in perfect synchronicity and everything else like that, that might help, you know?
I think it might be the trigger that might spark other things, because I know my clairaudience was starting to pick up a little more than today, too.
Interesting.
Yeah.
So that's cool. I still have to sit down with one of my crystal balls and try and do some more work with that. I think that I'd like to see what if I'm focusing on Linda Crystal in this case, if anything might happen to show up for me in the crystal ball, like accidentally happened with Kathy from Kathy's Echoes, and so and that was the most interesting thing because I was on record with it. Like I had said, okay, I looked at the crystal ball last night, and here's what I saw. I saw a white-haired woman. I saw a brown dog with tilted head and ears flopped in front, and I saw this old monk-looking guy, you know? And then a couple weeks later, I had to be looking through Kathy's pictures because we were trying to get her BTR account back. And oh my God, I come across a picture of the exact dog that I saw in the crystal ball. And I'm like, oh my God, that's the dog. And I go, oh, white-haired woman, Kathy. I did not know that she had this dog. You know what I mean? And so, so I was well on record already of describing what I saw in the crystal ball. And then later, and I even posted up the picture of the dog. Let me see if I have it real handy here. Yeah, right here. This isn't the right picture though. Hang on. Like somewhere I had the exact picture with the head. Who's coughing out there? It's not me. Or here, let me see if I can do it this way real quick. Who's coughing? Somebody is coughing out there. I can't see it. Okay, Kathy, dog. Okay, there we go. Open file location. I see, it's right beside, okay. It's right beside. So, okay, so it's right beside that one. Select file. There it is. Open, upload. When I was going through her pictures and I'm like, oh my God, that's the dog I saw. Head tilted, brown dog, floppy ears forward. I described it just like that. You know what I mean?
Isn't it cool when you see in the physical world what you've seen in your mind's eye?
Right now, it's looking to me like that is that is a Photoshop picture of her dog because the dog's head is flat on. Like it looks like the dog's part of the dog's head is like chopped off. But it's not. Like, I mean, I'm sure that it's just, but that dog has you could use that dog's head as a beer holder, you know what I mean? Seriously, I've never seen a dog's head be that. I've never noticed that before. But anyway, so, so that was kind of cool when that happened. You know what I mean? It's always, like I say, it's like I wasn't trying to be psychic. You know what I mean? All I was doing was I was just like sitting there and gazing at this ball. You know, that's all. I wasn't intending to, I wasn't like trying to will anything to happen, and then kaboom, you know, all of a sudden I saw the first image and then the second image and then the third image. It was just wild. Because it's a black ball, you know what I mean? Like it's a black ball. And so I have, part of the challenge with using that ball is any light source can be like reflecting light, you know, and that can be a little bit distracting. But once I got into the zone, and it was dark and late at night, I was sitting on my couch, and I felt like I was like right inside that ball. You know what I mean? That was very cool. Very, very cool. Okay, let's see if we can play this thing. I'm gonna I still don't know this particular recording so well. Right near the end, I know that it says Kristen in a whisper. It says my name again, Kristen in a whisper. Somewhere in there it says Crystal, which is for Linda Crystal, even though that wasn't her legal name, but I heard Crystal. I heard it's amazing when I asked and I asked, what did you die from? And I swear there's a couple of points where I hear cancer. And all of these, you know, some people hear, some people don't hear. We all don't always agree on what we hear. And it's best for anybody listening to put on a headset if you want to hear these things the best. And I'm going to crank the volume up. And hopefully that will give you guys good things. So it's just 5 minutes 45, and so I'll just run it all the way through. I might stop it now and then, but here we go. Oh, and there's a squelch at the beginning because, you know, and so get ready for that. There's a squelch. Okay. Rewind and play.
Okay, Linda Crystal, we're calling on you to talk to you, Linda Crystal. No, that's not going to work.
Almost there is like a hello, but you know what I mean?
No, that's...
No, not there. Right before the squelch.
You to talk to you, Linda Crystal.
Right there. Did you hear that right before the squelch? Anyway.
No, that's not going to work. Okay. Okay, Linda Crystal. Are you there?
Oh, see, now hang on. I might have just heard Crystal right.
Are you there? Say your name.
Hang on. Oh, yeah, I hear Crystal right there. I didn't pick that up before. Hang on. Let me try and isolate that. Yeah.
I heard that. That was
you hear
clear.
that?
Yeah.
You guys agree in the chat room? Can you hear that? Okay, so anyway, here we'll carry on. See, I might pick up new things I didn't hear the first time, so.
Are you there? Say your name if you're there. Okay, Linda, do you know who I am? Linda, do you know who I am? Can you say my name? Okay, Linda, where do we know each other from, Linda? Can you tell us where we know each other from? Where do we know each other from?
Oh, what was that? Hang on. go home or? I can't make that out. And that's interesting to me. Anyway.
Yeah. Okay, Linda, you had a shop, before you died, you had a shop. What kind of shop was it?
Number 15.
Linda Crystal, what kind of shop did you have? Okay, Linda, we're wanting to know, where are you right now? Where are you?
I'm right here. Okay, listen to this. I'm right here. Hang on. Do you hear that? It's really low. It's a female. I'm right here. I'm right here. Hang on. I know that's what it is. I'm right here. And then she says it again, I think. So hang on.
So the third time, where are you?
Oh, I might have missed the first one.
She's like, I already answered you twice. Yeah. So can you tell us what made you die? What did you die from, Linda?
Okay, I'm looking for the word cancer.
What did you die from?
You know, I'm sure I heard it twice. Oh, hang on. Dang. I never rewound, so I'm going to go back again.
Die from, Linda?
I think that was one. Yeah.
What did you die from? What kind of work did you do, Linda, at the end on the radio? What kind of work were you doing on the radio? What kind of work were you doing on the radio, Linda?
And there's the word magnify, and I associate a magnifying glass with a detective. You know what I mean? Like, you know how a detective, you know what I'm saying? Like a symbol for magnify. You know what I mean? Do you know what I mean, Diana?
Magnifying glass? Yeah, like a detective in the old movies.
In the old movies. So it was interesting to me because she's, of course, a forensic essentially an astrological forensic detective kind of a thing, eh? So I was interested to hear that word.
Can you tell us, can you describe what it's like to cross over?
You're ready. It's amazing. Did you hear that, Diana?
I thought I was hearing too much jumble.
Hang on, I'll get it. Stop! Okay. Okay, hang on. There. Okay, did you hear that?
Heard it that time. Yeah, it's amazing. Yeah. That was very clear.
Amazing.
It's amazing. It's amazing.
Amazing.
Yeah, isn't that interesting?
Did you say amazing? What's it like to cross over?
Oh, and there I thought I heard the word conscious. You know what I mean?
Did you say amazing?
Okay.
Oh, yeah, I heard that too.
Did you say amazing? What's it like to cross?
That interesting?
Sounded like she whispered conscious.
Yeah.
Did you say amazing? What's it like to cross over? Okay, look, do you have anything? Okay, Linda, you were on my show and we were looking for a missing person. Can you say the name of the missing person or the husband's name? Say the name of the husband or the missing woman.
So there's so much in there, little blips, that part I want to take and I want to slow it down and isolate it and slow it down. But anyway, I think we've gotten some good stuff on here. Right?
Okay, Linda, I'm going to let you go right now. I'm going to try and do this with you again. You should know about this. You were into paranormal, so we'll try this another time. And I'd like to work with you. Are you willing to work with me in the future to do some EVPs? Sure. Okay, Linda, thank you very much, and rest in peace over there. Unless you're probably knowing you're busier than...
My name gets whispered right away here, and it's like really, I don't hear the name Kristen. I've only ever heard it twice on EVPs.
You were even here on Earth.
Right there. Did you hear that?
I did.
Yeah. Hold on, let me get that. I'm going to crank it all the way. And hit play. Yeah, hey? That is amazing to me. So anyway, that's pretty well it. And let me turn the volume down now. Blast everybody's ears out here. Okay, so what do you think about that, Dianna?
That was very active. That
Yeah.
was cool. Yeah, that reminds me of the last investigation I went on when there was just all this stuff coming out. Sometimes when you do that, you just have to keep an open mind and be patient, because sometimes it can be pretty tame, but that was not. You really had her communicating with you there.
I think so. So, and I haven't had a chance, like I said, to speak anything and slow anything or do anything. And whenever I do that, I always keep the original, so that I can never mess with the original, and then I go ahead and I can isolate parts and slow it down or do whatever, you know what I mean? And so, so that was that. That was that. Amenti, your call dropped. Is you having trouble, Amenti, or did you decide you're going to call back later, or what are you doing? Amenti, the writer. She has 86,000 kids, I think, and so she might have had to go take care of something with the kids. Oh, there's the call again. Okay, so time for a break, or what do you want to do?
I am totally open. I can go either way.
Okay. Go your own way.
Bladder's doing well, but if you want to take a break, I can take a chance, or I always recognize the chances when they come up.
Well, if you want, we'll take the call then, and so that she doesn't have to keep messing with the phone, and then we have to figure out what we're doing with the last hour, or if we're just going to end early, or what we're going to do. So, let's get on Amenti. Hello, Amenti.
Hey, I'm here.
All right.
Hi, Amenti.
Hi.
Hello?
Hello?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, what happened to Dianna?
Yeah, I'm
Can
here.
you hear me?
Okay,
Oh.
yeah.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can. Yes.
Oh, okay.
Ask your question. Do you have a question?
Oh, yeah. I do. I guess I'm more of an intuitive. Okay, so I started this job and I'm very excited. Spirit has been aligning me up with everything that I want. It's just one more thing that I want. But I feel that I'll see that person in February, so I'm excited about that. I want to know guidance in, really elevating myself at work. What is the job looking for? Do they see my potential? I'm in training right, and I'm in the training process now. I have 2 more weeks to go. But just a real quick, that's just what I feel. I want to know guidance in that, and I apologize about the baby.
Is this a new company as well, or a new job within a company where you've been for a while? This is all brand new, is that right?
Everything is brand new, yes, and right now I'm in the training process of this job.
Okay. Well, what's funny is when you first started talking, some nights I just see images that are just funky, and sometimes they make sense to the person I'm reading for, and sometimes they don't, or they make sense later. But I just kind of get the message of kind of wishes coming true, because what I saw was you were just kind of sliding around in this really huge, fun, looked kind of like a game room, but everywhere on the floor, instead of, like the little balls that the kids play with, in those play centers, they're just these huge, big, puffy marshmallows. I mean, like almost the size of, bigger than some of the biggest beanbag chairs you've ever seen, if you've ever seen any of those. They're kind of coming back again now. But they're just these puffy marshmallows, and you're just kind of jumping around on them and sliding on them, and I just see you smiling, and you've got all this confidence. And the message I keep getting is that right now you already know that, you can't control what other people are going to think of you or what they perceive, but you've got the wisdom to know that you control what you put out there. And you've been doing that. And keep doing that. I mean, you've also got the discernment to know to reveal a certain amount of yourself, so it's not phony, so it's not work all the time, to do that. But we can always put on our best side and a little more formal side, as long as it's still us. And you've got the discernment that you've been doing that. But I just see that you've already kind of got it in mind, what you want there. And the more disciplined you get about every morning when you get up and just kind of set your thoughts in terms of, okay, first let's look at the big picture. What am I wanting from this job? What do I want, these people, how do I want them to respond to me? How do I want, specifically more of these different tasks of this day to go? The more you focus on that and see it as coming to pass the way you want it, and just going forward with that feeling of, well, so be it, so it is. I've already decided that's the way it's going to be, and I'm going to take whatever action it's going to take to get me there. I just see everything kind of flowing into place. But I do see that you need a little bit of discipline just to keep the rhythm going. You know how sometimes you're going along for a while, and then, like anything, life happens, and whether it's a job, a relationship, traffic on the street, things happen that, we aren't always really comfortable with. But I see you are a very disciplined person, and so even when you get to those points where it's kind of low or you get some surprises that aren't too pleasant, that as long as you just keep it in focus and take that breath, I'm also being told, kind of take a breath and think about before you respond in some of those situations that you're going to be fine. Just kind of pause and think, okay, am I going to feel good after I say this? Is this going to hurt myself or anybody else, as a result of saying this? Is there a better way I can communicate this? That if you just take that second or two pause to reflect about what you're going to say instead of just reacting, when something maybe doesn't go the best way, it's going to make all the difference in the world for you. And I still see you just kind of sliding around those marshmallows saying, hey, this is my playtime, and I'm making this work. And it's like I'm seeing the other side of you when you're not having to be as mindful about setting up what you want and then taking the action. And I don't see it being difficult for you at all. Like I say, the only thing is just the discipline to every morning really decide what it is you want, how you want your day to go. And it's not that we can set out every exact thing that's going to happen, but I'm speaking more in general terms of, we've got this meeting on this project today, and I want that to go really well. So I'm going to see that. I'm going to send some positive energy that way. Or, whether it's a contract, I want to get the contract. I just see you kind of setting those general goals and then little specific goals for the day, not necessarily how you attain them, but just that they're going to all come together. And I think you'll be surprised when you do that how you see that a lot of it doesn't even require work on your part, that just by our thoughts are so powerful, by setting that intention and putting those thoughts out there, you're going to see how interactive the process is, how other people are going to be stepping up and doing some of the work, and then you might have to do a small piece of it on something, but you'll see that you may be driving it, but you don't have to do all the work. Does that make sense?
Absolutely. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You've got a lot of wisdom about that in terms of knowing, first of all, what you want, and knowing that, how powerful our thoughts are, and then following up with some action to get what we want. Like I say, just be disciplined. Your biggest challenge, I think, and I don't even think it's going to be a challenge, but the main thing I'm being told is you need to do is just, even if it's 2 minutes, first thing when you get up in the morning or any time before you get to work, just kind of make that mental plan and set that intention of how you want the day to go, both generally and then if there's some little specific things where you're concerned about, it can just be sending some really positive flow and energy to a conference room where you're going to have a meeting. You don't have to set up all the specifics, but just set that intention of, this is just going to flow well today, and who's ever there, all the people that need to be there today will be there, and it's going to flow. We're going to get some stuff done, everything that needs to be done, and it's going to be a good experience.
Okay. Kristen, I'll allow one more question, just a simple yes or no question.
Yeah, sure. We got all kinds of stuff.
Sure. What can we look at for you? Did we lose her?
You hit mute. No, she's still there. Maybe she hit mute on her phone by accident. She dropped. She'll be back.
Okay.
She'll be back. So let's do a song, and then we'll pick up her second question.
Sounds good.
All right. See. I played that one recently. We're going to come back to your second question. Okay, she's back. So we'll just finish it now.
Okay. Hello, can you hear me?
Yeah. What's your second?
Next month. Am I going to meet new people, new friends? Do you see that next month?
Now, are you talking about inside the work office at all, or are you talking just in general in your personal life?
In general, personal life.
Okay. Have you moved to a new place?
I haven't.
A new town? Okay, because I just see, have you been kind of out of commission for a little while then? And I ask because I don't see you being as social as you'd like to be, or as social as you have been in the past, in your immediate past. Is that right? Am I tuning in on the right?
Yeah, right about that.
Okay. I see February picking up a little bit, but I also get the feeling that you may just be a little bit busier doing other things, whether it's work or your personal life, or you have to get some more stuff done. I see it picking up a little bit more in March in terms of meeting some new people. And I also see that if you are a little more proactive, whether it's getting on at meetup.com or just finding some local organizations in your area that for some reason May is April leading up to it a little bit, but May I see it really taking off a lot more. And I don't know if that's just there's going to be fantastic weather and all these outdoor activities, or like I say, I get the feeling you're going to take another proactive stand, though, and either find some meetup groups or just talk to some other people that are more active in the social scene that you know, and that they're going to help you get more connected that way. But again, February, a little bit slower. March picks up a little bit. But again, if you take some of that action to really put yourself out there and find new people and organization, and by people, I mean people that maybe friends of friends or somebody you already know, but you know they're pretty social, you know, and you just kind of ask them, hey, what do you like to do, you know, type of thing. And then the meetup.com, if you do some of that stuff, I really see by May it's going to pick up a lot, if that's what you want.
What does it mean when a cord is in your stomach when you meet someone? What does that mean when you put
what?
A cord is in your stomach and you meet someone? I know it's just a cord.
I guess I didn't hear all that question. I heard something about cord.
A cord. What's when a cord is attached to your stomach? A cord, like cutting cords. You know what I mean?
Like the spiritual.
Yeah.
Well, I've heard of different cords, like one coming from your solar plexus, and some other people say there's one coming more from not your third eye, but a little bit above that. I've always felt more of like you were talking about the stomach area or the solar plexus.
It was more like, I don't know if you have children. You know where the baby grows in your stomach?
Mm-hmm.
That's where I felt it.
Okay. Yeah, I've talked to some people who have said I don't know if it was a dream, it sounded like it was more of a dream, that they've experienced that where they've seen the cord. I've had a couple experiences where I didn't see it so much per se, but I could feel it, where I was kind of not really asleep, kind of meditating, but it was definitely an altered state of consciousness kind of coming out of sleep.
That's not what happened. I had met someone and I felt that cord. You know, I felt that cord meeting someone.
Did you get any type of response from that person? I mean, a look or just that feeling that maybe they might have felt something too? Because sometimes we meet people where we got the connection, other times we don't. Okay. Did you? Are you still in contact with this person?
No, I chickened out.
Oh, okay. Because I was going to say sometimes, I know from personal experience, sometimes they do recognize it, and other times one person gets it and the other person just doesn't for whatever reason. But you can always, if you focus, I have done this before, and I've talked to some other people that have done it, and someone suggested it to me, and it actually worked a couple times, where I would focus on that cord if it pertained to somebody I felt that connection with, and I would either run into the person later or I would at least get news or word about that person. So if I wanted to get in touch with him or her, I could. So if it's a connection you'd like to make, it's not out of the running yet. If you kind of set that intention and focus on that energy, though. Feel not just only the cord. I think that helps if you focus on that physical aspect of it too, but focus more. What I'm being told, there's a lot more power on focus on the feeling you felt when you first met that person, when you made that connection. Because that can help, especially if the other person felt it, that can kind of act like a magnet, and sometimes we're surprised at how we run into people again, where you think, you know, I wasn't even sure what city that person lived in, and then, boom, here they are now in front of me.
That's why I asked you about February. That's why I asked that question.
What I would do in that situation is if you want to make that connection, I would focus on just making the connection, and I would think a little bit about it every day. Don't obsess on it. But like I said, just feel that feeling you felt when you met that person. Focus on the cord a little bit. Just spend a little bit of time on it and then say, okay, that's my intention. Want to cross paths with that person again, let it go. But then I would let go of any expectation of February or any type of time when you would cross paths again, because I have found from personal experience, and other people have told me they've experienced the same thing, where once you let go of the expectation of time, sometimes it will come about even sooner than what you were thinking or what you might have wanted it.
Okay.
There's something about when we try and control it, put a little too much control on it, sometimes it can hold up the timing or even push it away. I don't know if you've noticed that yet or not, but I know I've experienced that a lot in my life where you can actually kind of push it away. So, and you walk a fine line because, like I say, you want to make sure you set that intention of what it is you want. And when you do that, if you can be of the highest vibration you can, meaning don't think about it too much if your baby's screaming at you or, you know, something's not going well at work. If you're not in the best of moods, don't really focus on it then. Wait till you're a little more calm and you're kind of in a much better place, and then set that intention, because your vibration is going to be higher, and that also helps. I found it speeds it up, and it also just kind of draws in that same, it's like a magnet, or law of attraction, draws in that higher vibration too.
Right.
So you're going to be pulling in that person or somebody better even at a higher vibration. Does that make sense?
Yes.
I would just add that sometimes when you get that instant connection situation happening, it's not always a good thing. You know what I mean? And so just be on guard for that. And, you know, because sometimes, like if we talk about soulmates, sometimes soulmates are there to challenge us, and it's not always to bring good in. You know what I mean? And so just bring that to your attention and pay attention, because if somebody's, you know, manipulating your energy or doing anything like that, you would want to be aware of that, right? So, so anyway, good luck.
I agree, and also I think it's important to be open and not try and have expectation about it, because maybe that person is coming in your life to who knows, get you to that better job or introduce you to your soulmate. Maybe it's not your soulmate person, but he or she is going to help you take that next step.
Mm-hmm.
But the more you can be open to it, I think that just opens a wider realm of possibilities.
I agree.
But always just follow your intuition, because if you get any kind of sinking feeling or any negative feeling at all, then, you know, that's there for a reason. It's telling you to back off. But as long as you're getting, you know, good feeling about it, be open and just kind of see where it goes. Because like I said, it could be anything, any type of good possibility. As long as your intuition's saying, yeah, this feels right, I resonate with this.
Right. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay. Well, hey, I hope you don't be a stranger.
Yeah, you know, I work. I have to be at work in the morning, come home late at night. So, you know, I try to catch the show as much. I just got a chance because, you know, we had the holiday. But I will try to come because, you know, I love your shows, Chris. You're hilarious. So.
Well, come back and see us. I'm here first and third Mondays. Love to have you.
Okay, no problem.
All right, take it easy. Peace out. Have a good year.
Peace out.
Sounds like she's half asleep anyways, you know what I mean? So let's play a song. I don't know what we're going to talk about, or if we're going to, it's up to you. We can figure out what to do from here, but we'll do a song and, we'll go from there. I had one lined up. Oh, here we go. All right, we're back. I always forget to do this. Well, sometimes forget to do this. So here.
Are you looking for a place to meet like-minded people? Perhaps you're a light worker looking for a safe place to share your thoughts and services. We've got a place for you. intuitalks.com. Join for free, post updates, blogs, create and join groups via website or radio or class package. The possibilities are endless. Join the all spiritual, all under one roof network, www.intuitalks.com.
All right. Okay. Stop. Okay. We are back. And I was trying to ask in the chat room here what you guys want to hear about. I'm getting no answer. Here comes Dianna. Hey, Dianna.
Hey.
So what do we... What
about?
Sorry?
Nobody in the chat room wants to talk about anything special?
Nope. Apparently not.
Oh. Come on, they can pick. We're pretty open here tonight.
Who's that? It's Christy. Hi, Christy.
Hi.
How you doing?
Hi, Dianna. Hi, Chris.
Hey,
How
Chris.
are you tonight?
Great.
Good, thank you.
Good.
I would like to pick your brain about dowsing.
Oh.
Okay. Do you have a specific question, or have you been doing it for quite a while?
Well, I've been practicing with crystal, and I've tried to use my ring. But I've seen something online with a group I'm a member of where they were trying to find unmarked graves, and they were apparently successful at that, as well as figuring out the depth of the person in the unmarked grave. And they had posted some videos of how to just use a plain Jane egg in your hand for dowsing. Oh, yeah, it was a really cool video. I was not successful. Apparently, you have to leave it at room temperature for a bit. And the person showed how they were successful on it in a video. I think the name was Divine Lightning Water Diviner, Diviner. He had posted some really unique videos on the different ways he had been able to use divining tools if you don't have one. He even used a coconut, for crying out loud, and was successful at it. And I loved it. I don't know if you ever go to YouTube, but I thought maybe you would enjoy some of
So
the
how did he use a coconut? In what way did he use a coconut?
It rolled forward on his hand when he was over the unmarked grave. He trained the coconut just like we would our pendulum, and he was in a different country, so their coconuts were a lot smaller than the ones you and I would see in the grocery store. I think that was probably the first thing that helped him out a little bit. And the same thing with the egg. The egg rolled from the middle of his palm forward and was almost sideways when he was over where he was trying to find water or the unmarked grave or whatever, and that would pop back up, and he had to train it first. Show me yes, show me no, show me all these things. And he would keep moving his hand to the right and moving his hand to the left. I didn't know you could use all these different objects if you didn't have. Oh, he did show the pendulum. There were, plain Janeway, all of us use, and that's what he usually uses when he does when he was looking for the unmarked grave. But he said that he was able to even figure out the sex of the person in the unmarked grave if you train your pendulum. Yes and no. If you have your pendulum trained and you've been at it for a while, you can get to the depth of the water. He said he's been able to get the depth of the water down to the feet by saying, okay, is it over 50 feet, yes or no? Is it over 60 feet, yes or no? And over 70 feet, yes or no? And then it says, yes or no. And then it'll stop. Okay, is it over 75 feet? And then go 71, 72, 73, until he gets the pendulum to get down to he said he's usually not off by more than a couple feet when they do drill for water.
What did you say his name was on the YouTube?
It is Lightning Water Diviner, Diviner. I wasn't sure how to spell that, so I went back and looked it up. But I go back and check out his posts and his YouTube pictures, because I'm liking watching all this, and I love the pendulum, and I practice a lot with mine.
Well, when I first heard about pendulums when I was a kid, the people who taught me, they just kind of stressed how, you don't have to go buy anything. It doesn't have to be expensive. It works just as well, if you take some buttons and some thread or buttons and a string. And I thought, well, okay, I want to try that then. And that was the first way I started doing it. And I was getting good responses on where things were, and I wasn't divining water specifically, which I know over a century ago that was really popular for that when people needed to do it for that. But I would, sometimes I'll still do this. I'll go in a grocery store and I'll just kind of divine, okay, what's the best produce for me to consume this week for this body? And I've had good luck with it. Haven't had any bad responses. But yeah, and I've since used, I've got some crystal pendulums and the pretty ones, the fun ones like that. But it can be just really simple, like what you said and what he was talking about, the coconut or the buttons.
Oh yeah, I don't know. I don't know off the top of my head what country he's from. It's obviously pretty warm because he's always wearing shorts and stuff like that. But I don't. They must need to do it quite a bit because he mentioned, all the thousands of times that he's divining. And I was just curious, have you ever, because you like the paranormal as well, have you ever gone to a cemetery and tried to find an unmarked grave? Because apparently he does that a lot.
No. A friend of mine in the Paranormal Investigation group, she has, and she felt confident that she'd found some, but I have not gone with her yet to do that. But I've talked to other people that have done that, and I was going to ask you, there's someone who's very well known. He's at the Ozark, I forget the big metaphysical thing they have there every summer, Ozark something in Arkansas, and this guy named Walt, he's written like a little booklet specifically on dowsing. Are you familiar with that at all?
No, I'm not.
And I thought I put it on my links here on my page, and if you bear with me a minute here, I'll know the name if I see it, because I wanted to put that link on there because here it is, Letter to Robin, a mini course in pendulum dowsing. And I found that to be very helpful, and it's been around for a while now. And I've talked to a lot of other people who said that kind of helped them get started, or at least helped them kind of. Some people I've talked to said, they didn't feel they were getting accurate responses. And I said, well, sometimes, there are a lot of times when I feel like I'm guided to not really use a lot of tools, that I'm supposed to just use my inner pendulum, if you will. And sometimes I have found I've had better results using my body as a pendulum. And I'll ask, I'll stand up straight and I'll say, all right, body, for my highest good, I've got to ask these questions. What is your response going to be for yes? And say I kind of lean forward a little bit. What's it going to be for no? And maybe I go side to side. But I ask every time I do that because, as you know, with a pendulum, you can get a different response on different occurrences when you're asking questions. But this is kind of a nice little guide, and I've got it on my a link just on psychicfrontier.com on the links section. If you go to Letter to Robin, and it's all there. And just love.
Didn't you say it was in Arkansas? You had to go to Arkansas, or did I misunderstand?
Well, this guy, I think his name's Walt, if I'm remembering that right. He teaches in Arkansas every year, or has for some time. I have not been to it yet. The Reiki Master Teacher I studied with, he went down there a few times, but I've just read the Letter to Robin and the information this guy has on learning to douse. And then I've also checked the national, I forget the exact name of the group, but it's like a national group for dowsers, and that's out of Vermont, and they've got some resources too. But this PDF, he's got a Learning to Douse PDF on this letter to Robin, and some charts, and it looks like he's even expanded it since I was out here the last time. But now one thing I haven't looked at before now, it looks like he's got something called personal dowsing. I've had some people, and I know I've tried to look at, say, personal things in my life, and I won't do that anymore. I go strictly for, if I use it, it's going to be objective stuff. Like I'm looking for something like the unmarked grave, or looking for water or a source for something else. And as long as I do that, I have really, really good results with that. But even then, like I said, sometimes I'll just have to turn it off and say, okay, my intuition's saying now just to kind of listen internally, and don't do that. And everybody's different, you know, when dowsing is best for them. But I do still utilize it.
I found it. Letter to Robin, a mini course in pendulum dowsing.
Yeah, you might take a look at that and see if there's anything in there that you don't already know. He's got quite a bit of information on there, so you might find something useful in there. And he's got a bunch of charts in there, which I find very handy. See if those come up.
What is, someone in the chat room said, what is the Bovis scale? I don't know what that is. I've never heard of that one.
A what scale?
Bovis?
Yeah, it says it's confusing to me. It's something that this French guy came up with. It's a concept used by dowsers to quantify the strength of a postulated cosmic telluric energy. The attribution to blah, 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 blah. And so the unit of, so what it is it's, I'm still not clear even reading this down on Wikipedia, so geobiology, the concept was further developed by André Simonton, who introduced the term radio vitality. His scale was in turn developed into a modern Bovis scale by a Swiss geologist and former guy, who cares, who founded an institute and whose self-published books appeared in the 1980s. Mertz's books enjoyed some popularity in French-speaking Switzerland and were reprinted, blah, blah, who cares. The unit of the Bovis scale is the angstrom. The measurement consists of the operator placing a detecting device. I still don't know what, unless they mean whatever your divining rods are, you know what I mean? But you place a detecting device on or near the Bovis scale diagram, okay, and then you note the Bovis number. So a number of 6,500 you would get from fresh raw vegetables considered sufficient. It's to keep energetic balance. And lower figures negatively affect human life and body functioning. Higher numbers, as detected in fresh ripe fruit and blah, 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 which score about 8 to 10,000 on the Bovis scale, have positive effects aiding physiological functions. Numbers above 10,000 are in the ethereal range, considered places of power. So I don't know what diagram looks like that you're supposed to put. So now a person has to look up Bovis scale diagram. Okay, now let me.
Yeah, I've never utilized that before. If I'm trying to look at food, I might be in the produce section, and I'll say, okay, let's compare the cherries to the apples right here. Which one of these two is the best for me to eat this week for my highest good? And I'll do that. Then if I want to look at others, I break it down, because if it gets too much into numbers and science, then I start thinking too much. And I really think it's imperative, if you're going to use pendulum and the other psychic tools, that we use more of our psychic senses. I mean, if you want to measure it and you feel you need that, or you just are drawn to it, go for it.
Right.
Now, if that feels right, do it. But I'm not drawn to that. I feel we need to utilize our intuition more to strengthen that.
I'm guessing it would be a way for someone to try to show exact numbers if they were using their own pendulum in their own, home. That's what I'm going to throw a stab out there, out there. I don't know.
Well, it looks like there's different kinds. There's round ones, they got numbers on them, and so then there's ones that are half circles. And so then I guess it's to say, like, if the thing moves all the way that way, you know what I mean, then it would mean, and all the way that way would mean, so you guys can just,
maybe.
I don't see, I can't find one with a big enough screen resolution. Oh, this one's not bad. And it has to be a decent, I'm having trouble getting the image, so I can't do it.
I don't know if I have any in my neighborhood that does dowsing. And that's where I'm going to try to focus my energy next spring, because I want to tag along. If they're honestly, going to be dowsing for water, or if they're going to try to find an unmarked grave in the cemetery, because according to the YouTube videos, back in the day, they buried a lot of people numerous people in one grave if they were poor. Like sometimes there would be, and a child, if there was a child that they felt they wanted to be buried with the parents, but it wasn't marked, they could also, try to, they found that way. But I don't think you would ever prove that it would be an unmarked grave unless, how would you even get permission from the cemetery to dig there? You know what I mean?
Right. First, to see if there actually is a body there, and second, how do you find out who it is, and who do you...
Oh, I didn't think of the CSI movies. Now they have those little thingies that are supposed to be, ground-penetrating radar. So I guess, if we were to watch CSI enough, we could, pretend that was happening instead of exhuming.
You've got access to all that stuff. Go for it.
No, I was just trying to figure out, how would you ever prove that was honestly an unmarked grave unless you dug it out with a backhoe? But,
right.
I mean, if to call the forensics in and say, the police, I think that there's, something going on in this area because of A, B, and C, they might be able to come out and say, sure, we'll lend you our whatever. It wouldn't be, what are those things you look for coins with?
A metal detector.
Yeah, like the opposite of a metal detector. You wouldn't have a metal detector, but I'm sure that they would have, it looks similar on TV anyway.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. That would be interesting to go look for the unmarked grave. Have you had some opportunities to do that?
No, I have not. But there's a couple of actual water diviners that you can hire in the Tri-City area where I'm from.
Hmm?
And I'm curious to come next spring. Not right now. I'm not sure anyone does, crap around here in Michigan in the wintertime. Not unless they absolutely have to. But next spring, that's on my checklist, my to-do list, to see if I can't track down an actual diviner and someone that's dowsing for water, and see if I can't pick their brain a little bit. Now, do you ever use your pendulums when you're giving readings for yes, definite yes and definite no, or whatever?
Sometimes, especially if I'm going on site somewhere, I'll take that, maybe a couple other tools, just because some people seem to like them. And then I'll just kind of listen to my intuition if I feel like that it will help the person feel more comfortable, or and I'll ask too, okay, if I use this pendulum tonight, am I going to get in the way somehow? My own personality, is it better if I just do without it? And then I'll follow whatever my intuitive lead says, because sometimes I think it is, I don't want to say needed, because they're tools that we can use, but I don't think we really need any of them. They can be helpful, though. But every person and every circumstance is different, so I try and kind of take each one as it comes. So sometimes I use them and sometimes I don't. But I know some people do like to have them used because it's new to them, and then sometimes they have questions, and then if I can help someone, if they've got an interest in it, and if I can help somebody kind of get pointed to different things, where they can get started and maybe get a jump start in terms of their education, get some leads on things they can read to help them get started, I like to do that.
I've heard of some psychics that go back, and afterwards, just to confirm their own reading, they'll use their pendulum after the fact and say, okay, was this the person that came through? Can you show me yes? Can you show me no? And maybe they'll, I think that they would use that just to confirm their own reading, double check things to make sure that's what they heard.
Yeah, I guess I haven't really done that with mediumship, because when somebody comes through, it's usually pretty strong, and I ask them questions, like, are you this person's grandmother that wants coming through? And I usually I'm comfortable with the answers that I get, or if I think somebody might be trying to trick me, I'll do the thing where I ask them 3 times, and once in a while on a 3rd time, I will see a hideous face and they go away. But that doesn't happen very often. Most of the time they're pretty straight with me. But I felt pretty comfortable with the people that had come through. And sometimes the people that the person being read that want to come through, they don't, but someone else will. And I just tell them, sorry, for whatever reason, this is the person I see here right now. Does that sound familiar? Do you want to talk to them? Because maybe they don't want to talk to that person. Maybe it's somebody they don't know or don't like, But sometimes the spirits, sometimes I've found the spirits want to come through, but other spirits are like beating them out of the way in line type of deal. Have you ever encountered that?
Cutting. Yeah.
Yeah, some are just more enthusiastic about getting a message through than others. And I've been kind of surprised sometimes at the messages that then come through because, hopefully it makes sense to the client, but sometimes to me it sounds not goofy, but it doesn't sound like it was all important that they had to push the person's grandmother out of the way when they really wanted to talk to the grandmother, But spirits do what they do just like we do what we do, so we just have to kind of roll with it and work with it the best we can.
I have been to a psychometrist where they requested a piece of my jewelry that's been on my person for an extended length of time in order to provide their rating, and was just off the wall accurate and amazing, and I would love to have another one of those done.
That's how I initially got started back in strengthening my intuition again. In fact, I think I read about it in a Wayne Dyer book, and he was talking about psychometry, and I thought, okay, I'm going to try that. And I went out with some friends for dinner and showed them, and we just kind of freaked each other out at some of the different accurate impressions we were getting from jewelry that people wear all the time, because our energy is on it.
Well, and that was one of the first ways I've seen of making a pendulum, using your ring on a string and just using your own ring. So I'm curious, if I was to have the opportunity again to have another psychic reading, if they were to use my ring as a pendulum, would they be able to do a better job as opposed to their own pendulum? Because it would be on my person if they wanted to use the psychometry part of my ring, combining both the readings of a pendulum and, psychometry reading.
I think it might make a difference depending on what type of information you were looking for. If it was something that touched a spirit that had been close to you when they were in life, maybe that would make a difference. I don't know. If it was just something general, like you're trying to find water in a certain spot or a certain property line or something, maybe it would, maybe it wouldn't. I don't know. I think there might be a stronger connection with somebody if you're asking about somebody that you were close to, potentially.
Oh, yeah, I do have my mom's ring. I understand what you're saying. Not just my ring. You mean like a loved one's ring.
Yeah. Well, and especially if you're asking about, like you want to say, is my loved one, is that, I felt this person around me, when I go to this part of town or in my office or whatever, do you feel that person's energy here? And if they're holding your ring on the pendulum, since that person was obviously close to you, they might react more strongly to your ring as opposed to a crystal pendulum that didn't belong to you. Does that make sense? Just because of the physical connection you had with that person, and then you have the physical connection with that item. Whether it's a ring or whatever you put on to make a pendulum.
That is cool. I'm going to a fair at the end of February, and there's going to be multiple readers there, and I was thinking about bringing my mom's jewelry, but I thought, well, maybe I wasn't sure if it would be easier to read mine because she hasn't been wearing it so long. I don't think it would, because they asked me, do you have something you've been wearing, constantly, like for the past, so many months. If she hasn't been wearing it, if she already passed like over 9 years ago, I don't know that they would get.
It depends on the person. I think it depends on the person doing the reading and the item. But I think that even if she's been gone for that long a time, if she wore it for 10 to 30 years before, I would still feel real strongly that there's a part of her on that. So I don't know if it's so much that she had to touch it recently, but if she was wearing it for years before.
Right.
Unless when I've had jewelry passed down to me before, and what I do sometimes is I will cleanse it. I'll clear it through sage. I'll burn sage and run through it. But if you haven't done that to any of her jewelry, her energy's still going to be on it.
Right. I see what you're saying. No, I haven't cleansed her jewelry. So I think I'll probably just bring a couple of their things with me because it's out of town. So I'll have to bring, pack accordingly. I think I'll bring a couple of things that I wear and then, pocket them on the side and, see what they get. If they get anything, great. If not, then, it's been too much time has elapsed and, I'm shit out of luck.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised, though, if there's still a lot of stuff on your mom's jewelry just because if I shouldn't say that. I think there's still going to be a lot of her energy on that jewelry, regardless of how long it's been since she's not worn it, as long as she wore it for quite a period of time and nobody else has worn it since then, because that can mess it up if you got the two energies on it. But if you haven't worn it a lot or no one else has worn it a lot, I would think it'd be pretty easy for someone to pick up your mom's energy on that.
Well, I have a couple of brooches I'm going to bring along just for shits and giggles. None of us know where the hell these brooches came from. After my mother passed, we went through her jewelry box, and there was a couple of things that none of us recognized, and I asked other family members, who gave this to her? Do you remember where she got it? Blah, blah, blah. And no one knew where it came from, and it's very old, so I assumed my grandmother would know because, I figured maybe she gave it to her from a relative at one time, but she said, no, I don't have any idea where that came from. So I'm hoping that when I bring them along, someone can say, where in the heck did she get this? And is this someone, that was in my family? Because that would be nice to be able to say, well, this was, my great-grandmother's on so-and-so's side of the family. But no one recognizes the jewelry.
That's interesting. Yeah. And maybe that's something that somebody at this fair can help you with. Maybe they'll get some impressions that maybe it won't make complete sense to you right then, but, if you keep talking to family members or as you continue to kind of do your own investigation, you might get some more pieces of the puzzle to get it figured out.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to going. It'll be fun.
It sounds like fun.
Yeah, we have freezing rain going on up here in Michigan as well. So in the middle of winter, there's not a whole lot of fun to be had unless you're, bowling, I guess. So any kind of
you can get out on the roads to get there safely to go bowling. It's been freezing rain here for 2 days now.
Oh, has it?
Yes.
Oh, no, we just got ours this afternoon, so I have a feeling all the schools will probably be canceled tomorrow here in Michigan because it just started. And
about everything here was canceled today, and it's still raining tonight, so I don't know if there's going to be much going on. Thankfully, and I'm hoping this weather forecast holds out, it's supposed to be 40 or 45 degrees Wednesday, so I'm hoping then it's all gone. Because it's weird to look outside, and it's all white, and there's really hardly any snow at all. It's all ice. It's just that thick right now.
Now, did you guys lose power?
Thankfully, I did not. I heard there were some places in, I believe, Lincoln and Omaha. I don't know about out in the more remote areas, but I know in Lincoln and Omaha there were some places without electricity, but thankfully mine has been on.
Yeah, I don't want to gloat to anybody up there up north or not, but we're going to get up to 50 degrees by Friday.
There you go. That's awesome.
I don't know that our northern friends will experience as much warmth and, January thaw as we will, but I'll take it.
I get excited when it's 40 degrees in January myself. Almost ready to pull out my shorts then. Compared to what it's been.
Yeah, the first time Chris said something like, it's supposed to get up to just freezing next weekend, so yay. Like,
it's a heat wave.
Well, thank you, Dianna. I appreciate you taking the time.
Oh, you're welcome. Yeah, if you got any other questions, I'm wide open.
That's great. When are you scheduled to come back again?
Let's see, I was looking at my calendar. I believe, tell me if I'm correct, Chris, February 6th, I believe is the first Monday. Is that correct?
Sounds about right to me.
I'm usually on the first and third Mondays of the month. And I love it when people call in and they want to talk about different things and they want to have readings. I love doing readings for people.
Yeah. February 6th, So, are we good or what, guys? Have we about had as much fun as we can stand, or?
Yep.
Going to talk about some more stuff, or what are we going to do?
Nope. You answered my question, Dianna. You're okay.
Done.
Thanks for calling in.
So,
thank you.
When do you think you're
talking to you?
Your website? So when do you think you're going to have your website back up there, Dianna?
Well, it is up and running because, like I said, I was going to put up the next date for the show, and then I thought, well, maybe I'll just put up the generic phone number or put in the link for Intuitalks because I don't know the show number, so I wasn't sure what the best way would be for that, but maybe I'll just put the Intuitalks link.
Yeah. I mean, the generic number is the generic number, but that's not going to help anyone without the code, so probably the best is to a little thing that says, you need to sign up for an Intuitalks account and at this link, you know what I mean? And then you can put a separate link for Curious Times .intuitalks.com.
And I'll stress that sign up for a free account here. And I'll reference your page too, Curious Times. Thank you for reminding me of that. And then I had started on another blog article today, but then I got doing other things, and I thought, you've been working for what, a week straight on that play? It can wait another day.
Right. Yeah. All right. Well, let's wrap it for tonight then, guys, and we'll be back tomorrow with Lisa Nolan Shalosky. Thank you so much, Dianna. I very much appreciate that.
Thank you.
And
me be here. Loved it. Thanks, everyone, for coming out tonight.
We're out in 3, 2, 1. See you guys.
Good night.
Good night.